Drew Lynch stutters except when he talks to animals. Last month, Drew Lynch, the comedian who got his start on America's Got Talent, chatted with Steve Dell on his WGN 720 radio show, Pet World. They talked about how much Drew's dog Stella meant to him and how she helped him through some tough times. It turns out, Drew's path to comedy wasn't a straight line. He originally dreamed of becoming a movie actor, but life had other plans. After a traumatic brain injury from being hit in the head with a softball at the age of 20, he developed a stutter that changed the trajectory of his life. He's been pretty open about how that injury and the resulting stutter really knocked his confidence and made him rethink his dreams. But like a true comedian, he found a way to turn those challenges into something positive. Drew got Stella, a Vizsla dog, when he was in his early 20s, not long after his injury. Stella quickly became his best friend, especially when he started touring and doing comedy shows around 2014. Since Stella was always by his side, Drew decided to make her a part of his YouTube channel, which he started before he got his fame on America's Got Talent. The channel was called Dog Vlog, and it featured Drew and Stella sitting in office chairs, just hanging out. Drew would talk and Stella would have funny captions pop up above her head as if she was just thinking those things. It took a ton of time to edit, but it was totally worth it. After Drew's success on America's Got Talent, where he actually came in second place, people found his old videos and his channel just blew up. He went from having a few subscribers to almost 1 million in just a year. People who love dogs really connected with his videos. In the interview, Steve reminded Drew about how he said he used to lie down when he was feeling anxious and say the word comfort, and Stella would come and comfort him. Drew talked about how his stutter had made it hard to get hired anywhere, and he felt like he didn't have a place in society. He was worried that his stutter would be the only thing that people saw in him. His anxiety was so bad that he would pace around his apartment complex for hours on end and had to be near a bathtub all the time because warm water helped calm him down. When he drove on the freeway, he always had to stay in the right lane and know where the closest hospital was. It was a really tough time for him. Steve asked Drew when it was that he realized a dog might help him. Drew explained that talking to animals helped him with his stutter. He didn't stutter when he talked to Stella, and that helped him feel less judged. He also talked about how Stella had an amazing ability to sense when people were going through a hard time, like if they had lost a loved one or a pet. She would just know and offer comfort. Drew also mentioned that Stella was a very unusual Vizsla. She was super calm and stoic, unlike most Vizslas, who are known for being energetic. He pointed out that most service dog organizations don't even allow Vizslas because they're usually not well suited for that kind of work. He and his wife have a new Vizsla now, but she's totally different from Stella. Drew called her their little cretin and said she's like Stitch from the movie Lilo and Stitch. He even caught her doing pull-ups on the door frame in the middle of the night. Steve was curious about Drew's ability to talk to dogs without stuttering. He asked if it was just Stella or if it worked with other dogs too. Drew said he hadn't really tried talking to other people's dogs, but he thinks it works with a lot of animals because they're so compassionate and understanding. He also talked about how Stella knew silent commands. She could respond to hand gestures to close doors, turn on lights, help with laundry, and even push buttons. Finally, Steve and Drew talked about retractable leashes, which Drew has a comedy bit about. Drew said he really dislikes those leashes and thinks that they should be banned. He talked about how dangerous they can be, both for the dogs and for other people. He shared a story about a small dog on a long retractable leash that ran up to Stella aggressively and how the owner just snapped the dog back by pressing a button on the handle, which is not safe at all. He also talked about how frustrating it is when dogs on those leashes run ahead of the owners and how it can create problems for other people and dogs. It seems like Drew Lynch and his dog Stella had an amazing bond, and she really helped him through some challenging times.